Hello everybody and welcome to Higurashi GOU episode 13 anime review in what has to be one of the most abrupt endings to an episode ever. Abrupt because everything was great, everything was going wonderful for everyone, and then all of a sudden it wasn't, and then it wasn't even more, we found out. Crazy. Could mean a lot of different things though. Like, I genuinely struggle to understand what actually happened and what was, hallucinations? We'll go with hallucinations. Paranoia, that's another good word. Struggle to figure it out. I'm not too sure, really. We'll have to, we'll get to it towards the end. I want to go through the early parts of the episode first. But, for right now, let's get through those early parts of the episodes, talk about how everything kicked off and went down, and do this thing. So even after everything, the government is still rejecting their plea for help, basically. However, main characters, in fact all the characters, not giving up hope. They believe strongly they're going to win. They have the adult support. Everything is going wonderfully for them. Loads of people turned up at the centre. Like a lot of people, just basically everyone told everyone, and word of mouth, everyone got together. Crazy. If there was internet in Higurashi times, like, would things get even crazier, or would they get less crazy because everyone would send their digital support? Who knows? I don't know. They just spammed the centre on Twitter being like, hey, fix this, who knows? The director guy is in his house. It's the centre. He's like in his room, locked up, like, the assistant is like, sir, what are we going to do about this? And he's like, pretend I'm not here and everything. Oishi comes to speak to the ringleaders of this operation, which just so happen to be the main characters. And tells them, hey, this is an unlawful gathering. You don't have your permits and everything. I gotta, you gotta disperse. Come on. And he says, like, you've made enemies of the wrong people, Keiichi. There's people out to get you. That was weird. I don't remember him saying that originally. But it makes me think maybe that has something to do with what happens later on. What do we do now, basically? He also tries to get both Keiichi and Shion, so he tries to provoke them to get them to punch him because, as a police officer, can't be doing that. That'd be an immediate arrest. They don't, though, thankfully. I think Mion holds Keiichi back. They're like, okay, Rika's like, hey, do you believe we're doing everything we can? And they're like, yes, I believe that 100%. Obviously, that is a callback to an earlier series where, hey, they all believe they get things done. And hopefully, things will work out the same this time and everything will work out. At first I thought maybe like they'd be like, oh, no, we're not sure if we're doing everything right. And maybe we'd get, Rika would be a bit like, oh, like, this isn't the one. But that's not exactly how it played out. It actually turns out Oishi wasn't being a complete arsehole. He was going easy on them. Usually he would do things forcefully, but instead he went to talk to them and everything, and also lied to the what do you call him? The superior officer, I guess, to buy them some time, maybe? We'll go with that. Keiichi never doubts he's doing the right thing. That's what Oishi says. He's like, that boy has never doubted for a second. I really don't have I'm still reeling from the end, if I'm being honest. Uncle Sonozaki shows up and says we're here to help, as well as lawyer Sonozaki is like, hey, they don't have the grounds to remove us, that's BS. And Oishi is like, oh, you're right, that is BS, carry on then. I just lets him get on with it. Keiichi and them head on in to Oreo, the grandmama, Oreo. Sonozaki is the one that organised this help by calling the mayor, the mayor calls the centre head manager guy and says, yeah, talk to him, basically, do what they say. So she used her influence to basically make it so that Keiichi could get his way. Because she likes Keiichi. He's a good young whippersnapper, I think is the outcome of this. And then Keiichi and them are like, we're going in, guys. Wish us well. And they head in to the centre to get some poo done. As I said, the director guy gets basically told he's got to listen to them, and that he does immediately upon hearing their request. He's like, okay, yes, we'll send someone over there right away, and that they do. They immediately send some people over there. Oishi catches them on their way out and is like, excuse me, sir, I'm going to have to come with you, and that he does. He's going to the house too, the Hojo house, to go and, because so they have to be let in, because he can refuse them entry, but he can't refuse a police officer entry. So he's an alright guy. Rika comes out with a pretty good line here. She's like, Keiichi, you rolled a 6 on a dice that only had 1s on it. And it's kind of weird because Keiichi's like, we won, right? And Rika's like, yeah, you won. But Keiichi's the one that's like, it doesn't feel like we won. You know, he's kind of a bit apprehensive. They did win, it turns out. But they briefly won, we'll call it that. But for now, we get happy fun times. In fact, this was my first inkling that something might be off. Satoko calls Keiichi to say, hey, I called for help and, you know, they helped me. And I'm like, okay, why would they not show that though? Like, my brain is telling me there's something that happened that they didn't show us and it's important, you know? But what do I know? The uncle guy got taken in by Oishi. Didn't say he got arrested, I don't think, just said he got taken in. And they're like, oh, Oishi is a good guy, really. Then, festival preparations, they're going to have fun for that tomorrow, and then they do. We get to see Satoko getting ready. Didn't need to see her in the bath, but what can you do? Rika came together, and it's all very happy. They all meet up together. They have their fun times. It's like nothing's changed. They have festival fun montage and everything. They're about to watch Rika do her dance, and Satoko is like, Keiichi, we need to go somewhere private. And I'm like, oh, damn. I know where this is going. You know where this is going. And, I hope it's not going there. She's like... Anyway, the point is, you know, for the second time, Keiichi is going to not watch Rika's dance. So, you know, maybe it works out, in fact. Who knows? The two of them go off on their own to have a secret rendezvous, I guess. Satoko, wants to call Keiichi Nini now, and it's kind of off-putting. She's like, you're my new Nini now. Like, I'm like, what about Satoshi, though? You're just forgetting about him? There's hugs. I get that, like, hey, at the moment she might need a Nini, and, you know, he could be a stand-in, but she's treating him like a replacement, and that's kind of hard to poor Satoshi. She has something to give him, and there's hugs, there's blushing. It's kind of sweet, honestly. And I'm, you know, seeing that, I was like, something's going to happen here. At first I thought, like, she was like, I've got something to give you. I'm like, are you going to stab him? Are you going to stab him with a knife for some reason? That's not what happened. They go to the Hojo house, and again, more weird stuff starts happening. Satoko is like, this is your house too. And I'm like, so he's just straight up replaced Satoshi in your mind. That's kind of, you know, that's a little bit, it came off a little bit off-putting. I don't know if that's just me that thought that. I kind of get it because, you know, he did so much to help her and everything, but then there's a part of me that's just like, you just kicked Satoshi to the curb. Will anyone do, you know? In the house, though, however, Keiichi turns on the light and immediately gets smashed on the back of the head with a baseball bat. It's Teppei, it's Satoko's uncle, hits her in with the bat. In the struggle, though, he does get the bat away from Teppei and then beats him to death with it. And then, of course, he dies himself. Or not dies, but he passes out himself. Satoko runs away in the panic. Now this is where things get weird, right? In fact, no. I'll do the epilogue part first. Then I'll talk about what I think happened. Keiichi wakes up in the hospital where the officer guy comes to talk to him. It's like, what happened on the night of the festival, basically. Keiichi can't remember because, you know, that would be too convenient. And, you know, he remembers going to the house with Satoko. So I'm assuming that definitely happened. Like, that's not a hallucination. That much definitely happened. And then he can't remember the attack or anything. So I think something else must have happened there. The officer guy doesn't tell him what happened to Oishi because Keiichi's like, it's weird, why is not Oishi not here? Later on, Reina goes to see him, and Reina tells him what happened after he left. So apparently at the festival, Oishi showed up and just started shooting everyone and killed like Rika, Mion, Shion, and Satoko with a pistol. So I guess Satoko must have gone back there after, you know, the baseball bat incident with Keiichi, and then ran back to the festival maybe to get help. Or was she there the whole time? You know, was Keiichi the one going in? It's crazy to think about. Yeah, so that's where we end. Everybody's dead again. You know, we thought you were going to have a happy ending. Screw you. But man, it came really abruptly. I was like, as soon as he got hit by the head with the thing, I was like, oh, okay, no, we're not getting good. I thought he died in one hit, honestly. But no, a load of different things could happen. Like, I know it seems pretty obvious what happened, but it actually might not be. Before we get to that, though, the next arc is called, oh god, Neko Dameshi Hen? Cat Deceiving Chapter, which is strange because I looked it up and that doesn't match any of the old arcs. In fact, tell a lie. it matches like Neko was in one of the OVA arcs, so I don't know if this is going to be a somewhat adaptation of that, but it's not any other like main visual novel arcs, you know, from the main one. So that's kind of weird. We're either going into completely anime original territory, or we're going to adapt that weird OVA. I don't remember much about it. I think they just stood around talking for most of it. But that's kind of weird. But you know what? Actually, I'll do my favorite part, then I'll talk about my theories at length. At the end, that makes a lot more sense. But for right now, what was my favorite part of the episode? It is a good thing I actually left it for the end, because my favorite part of the episode is actually how it is the end section and how everything goes wrong. I considered it just being Satoko being the sweetest thing and just cute as a button, even if it was a little bit unnerving with how he completely replaced Satoshi, but that was the one thing. But no, the whole ending section, it came out of nowhere, which it really shouldn't have. Like, more like the baseball bat incident, okay, fair enough. If it was just that, I wouldn't have flipped out too much. Why the hell would Oishi go around shooting everyone? That's the bit I don't get. Is there any reason for that? Like, I don't know. That definitely didn't happen in the original. I don't remember Oishi ever being the cause of the bad ending, so to speak, in the original at any point. So it's kind of weird. What I think happened is Keiichi, I think, oh god, I don't think the uncle was there, because if the uncle was there, that means the police would have had to let him go. And would they have done that? If it was, or unless Oishi is bad and he let him go on his own. But then, obviously, so Keiichi must have, I don't know. Was that the real Satoko? Was Satoko at the festival the whole time? You know, it could be literally anything. The other thing that it kind of unnerves me is Reina, because Reina has survived 2 of the arcs where everyone... The only one she's not survived so far is the one where Keiichi kills her. So, is she the bad guy? Is what I'm thinking. Because, you know, why would Oishi shoot everyone? The only thing that, you know, doesn't match up with that is the fact that the officer guy also didn't want to talk about Oishi. So, unless what happened is Keiichi attacked Oishi at the Hojo house, but thought it was the uncle because of the hallucinations, and then maybe, or I see a hallucination, paranoia, the thing, you know the thing, and then maybe Reina killed everyone else for some reason. I don't really know, you know, it could be a lot of things. Basically, I don't want to suspect, I don't think Teppei was real. I think that something else was happening there. And I can't think of a reason for Oishi to shoot everyone, but the officer is making me think maybe he did. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of stuff. Maybe there's someone else pulling the strings. I mean, Oishi said, "You've made enemies of powerful people, Keiichi." So maybe that's why they did it. I really don't know. I've sort of got like half complete ideas, but I don't have anything concrete. I'm not too sure. Satoko though, Satoko's good. I think I would, unless, because we didn't see what happened, would Satoko have got Keiichi killed? Like maybe they got rid of the CW, the Child Protection Services, and then the uncle wanted revenge and got Satoko to get Keiichi killed, but Keiichi fought back, and the reason Satoko ran away was because she thought Keiichi knew that she'd ratted him out. And what was she going to give him from, you know, Satoshi's room? Because she was like, I got something to give you that was my brother's. What was it she was going to give him? Was it the bat? I don't know, you know, I'm thinking about it more. I'm thinking maybe that was actual Teppei, but that still doesn't make sense why Oishi would shoot everything unless they're completely unrelated. I have no idea. I think I'm going to wrap this up here. Let me know what you think happened, because I love reading people's theories. It's really interesting, even if I don't necessarily agree. But for right now, thank you everybody for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe and stuff for more reviews. I will be back next week. I assume they've got an episode next week. I know it's Christmas time, but, you know, anime doesn't stop sometimes. Sometimes it does, who knows. I'll see you then though, so take care, and bye guys.